Last night, the Pirates had their man back. Jung Ho Kang returned from the injury to deliver 2 home runs as the Pirates beat the St. Louis Cardinals by a 4-2 final. The Pirates have now won 4 straight over the Cardinals to start this year, and it is game 2 of the 3-game series on a beautiful afternoon for baseball here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Greg Brown along with Bob Walk. And Bob, it really is nice to have Jung Ho Kang back. You could feel it when he entered the clubhouse yesterday before the game, and you could certainly see it when he hit the first of 2 home runs.
It really has been a kind of a boost to the team in a lot of different ways. And you know, one of the things that I think it really does too, Greg, is it puts another bat in that lineup that's not necessarily a get-on-base bat like a lot of the other guys are, but somebody that the pitcher really has to think about. This guy's got pop, he's got power, he can score runs with one swing. I'm concerned with that, and it's nice to have a couple of guys sprinkled in that lineup somewhere that the pitcher has to feel like that.
Well, you think about it, the guy that was in the middle of their order much of last year, Jung Ho Kang, drove in a lot of runs, and their RBI leader is an important cog to this offense. We're talking, of course, about Josh Harrison. He leads the team with 16 RBIs, including this bullet up the middle last night.
Well, it is pretty amazing what he has done, but the way this lineup has been getting on base from top to bottom has put him into some situations that all he's got to do is hit decent, and he's going to get some RBIs. I mean, look at that, 45 plate appearances with runners in scoring position this year. It's just to get your hits, and you're going to knock in the runs.
Merrill Automotive leaders, 10 RBIs with 2 outs. He has been clutch, helping the Pirates, of course, last night defeat the St. Louis Cardinals. They look to make it 2 in a row. They ended their 4-game losing streak, and a guy who has been much better lately, Jeff Locke, on the hill for the Pirates. We're going to talk about locking down the Cardinals and more coming up next. Here in St. Louis, Missouri, the Pirates versus the Cardinals. Game 2 of the 3-game series, and Jeff Locke will be on the hill for Pittsburgh. This is his 6th start, coming off back-to-back strong outings.
Jeff, really in the last couple of outings has just shown outstanding control. It started in that game in Colorado where he just started painting both sides. And what it's really done, Greg, is like last night with Frankie, it opens up things for his off-speed pitch, especially that changeup. And as long as he can continue with this control, he's going to do a great job.
Pirates are doing a great job against these Cardinals. Remember, they opened up the regular season at PNC Park with a 3-game sweep, winning last night. Look at that ERA in the 4 games against the Redbirds.
It's pretty special right now. 11, almost 12, a dozen strikeouts per 9 innings. I mean, the pitching that has been not so good this year on a whole has really been getting his job done against these Cardinals.
Jeff Locke's opponent, the Cardinals, and on the mound for the Redbirds, Adam Wainwright, the familiar foe. We'll talk about Adam Wainwright and the Cardinals coming up next. St. Louis Cardinals are 15-15 on the year. The Pirates now 16-13. And that man, Adam Wainwright, who missed just about all of last year, is 2-3 in 6 starts this season.
Well, you know, he's a guy that's always been somebody that the Cardinals have looked to really lead the way for him. And this year he's off to a very slow start. I think it's got to be a little bit of a shock to him, and they're wondering exactly what is wrong. The curveball is the main problem. That's not working for him right now. Is it just a touch thing after being hurt all last year? Or is maybe the fact he's getting a little older, the curveball maybe not breaking like it used to? But right now he's having problems with that pitch.
Now at the age of 34, Adam Wainwright, but don't count him out. The Pirates aren't. And we'll be watching the Bucks and Cards in just a moment. First, we go back to the studio, and Paul Alexander has a game break.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All, and by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Jung Ho Gong is back, and he goes through his pregame ritual there with Josh Harrison. Warm, breezy afternoon here in St. Louis.
Boy, look at those flags.
There's something to watch for here this afternoon.
You know, it's really weird how you can look at the flags that are where the American flag is out toward the brew house, blowing straight from right to left, and then you look at the flags on top of the stadium, the exact opposite direction.
And then the flags are kind of different on a right field.
It just shows you how at these ballparks you can get the wind to eddy and turn different ways. And
so that's out toward left center, those flags. You can see the direction kind of back and forth.
Just moments ago, they were going from right to left. Now they've moved from left to right just in 30 seconds.
I guess we'll call that a swirling wind.
Swirling, yes, very much a swirling wind.
Here is Adam Wainwright making his 7th start of the season. His 34-year-old veteran will face this RAV4 starting lineup for the Buccos. John Jaso will be followed by Andrew McCutchen and Gregory Polanco. Second straight game Polanco's been in the 3-hole with Marte hitting cleanup and Cervelli 5th. And Gong, second career 2-homer game last night, will be followed by Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, and Jeff Locke.
Take a look at Wainwright's numbers. They're very un-Wainwright-like. 2 and 3 with a 668 going into the at Mother's Day. I mean, he's never had a start to his season like that. Opponent batting average well over 300.
Here's the defense behind Adam Wainwright, brought to you by Honda. Matt Adams is in the lineup. This is a late change, because Brandon Moss was initially at first, but Adams instead with Jed Jerko at second. Matt Carpenter, Aledmus Diaz on the left side, Matt Holliday, Randall Grichuk, Stephen Piscotty in the outfield left to right, and Yadier Molina is the catcher. John Jaso last night had a 7th inning single that snapped an 0 for 13 hitless string. Wainwright made the opening day start at PNC Park against the Bucks, and again missed just about all of last year with the Achilles injury. Made 4 starts before he landed on the DL. Now it's Jaso hitting .276 on the season, leading things off against this veteran right-hander. And right away, Jaso singles to center field.
Goes the other way with that pitch. Been doing an awful lot of pull hitting of late.
Into Rivers Casino tips to win.
Don't chase the hook. That's been the problem. And I saw where Wainwright said that he really needs to try and tighten his curveball up today. And a lot of times guys will start overthrowing a little bit when they try and do that, bouncing the ball. So if he does that today, we'll watch. Don't chase it and follow Frankie's lead. I mean, that's all about Locke. Establish the fastball inside. When you get that accomplished, then go to that changeup. That's what Frankie did last night, and just really messed up these Cardinal hitters.
Andrew McCutchen, a hit in 4 trips to the plate last night. .289 career versus Adam Wainwright. It's down at third base, Coach Rick Sofield. Nick Leyva coaches first. And the ball hit well to left. Holliday back, and this is going to be off the wall. Jaso into third and into second with a double. Andrew McCutchen off the wall and left. The Pirates setting up shop 3 pitches into the ball game.
Looking down and in fastball. Kutch just drops ahead of the bat right to it, way out in front. Now that's a ball that if he gets a little backspin on, is going to stay up and get out of here. But because the ball was down low like that, I'm sure that ball actually had maybe a little top spin. So as it got out near the wall, it started to drop real quick.
McCutchen collects his 7th double of the season. And the infield, with the exception of Matt Carpenter, will play back, concede an early run. Gregory Polanco 1 for 3 last night. He has 15 RBIs on the season. That is second behind Josh Harrison on the club. And he takes ball 1. Right away, Pirates putting pressure on Adam Wainwright and the Cardinals. Two and 0. Gregory Polanco, runner on third, less than 2 outs. Those good numbers. Now 2 and 1.
Polanco moving up into this 3 spot. Not such a great start. There's the curveball, just kind of laying in there. I'd like to see Polanco get another one about that same spot and have another shot at it.
And a pop-up to shallow left field, shortstop out, and Diaz can't get to it, so the Pirates take a 1-0 lead. Bucks had a handful of those last night. In addition to the big home runs from Gong, Polanco will take it, and a 1-0 Pirate advantage.
Kutch must have thought he caught that ball.
I'm guessing that's what it was.
It's kind of why I was waiting to see that replay to see. And Kutch was halfway, but he went back to second, like the ball was caught. Might have been blocked by Diaz's body on that one.
Watch Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah. Right there, sees immediately goes back like the ball was caught.
Chasing a breaking pitch there, 0-2 on Marte. Career 192 average versus Wainwright. Marte had a couple of hits in last night's victory.
That last pitch is what Wainwright calls his cutter.
And up the middle on an 0-2 pitch. McCutchen is going to be held at third as Grichuk's throw comes in, and the bases are loaded.
An opportunity to really bust the game open awfully early and really put some more doubt into these Cardinals' minds about Wainwright. I mean, they are just not used to having him knocked around. If you can hang a 3 or a 4 run first inning on him, that'd be special. With nobody out and possible big inning coming up, the Pirates taking it 90 feet at a time.
Francisco Cervelli, bases loaded. Cervelli hit a grand slam last year against these Cardinals. He's looking for his first home run of this season as he takes ball 1 from Adam Wainwright. McCutchen doubled off the wall and left. Polanco, that little pop up off the glove of the shortstop Diaz, and Marte, the base hit to center. 2 career grannies for the Pirates backstop. And Wainwright gets a call there.
It's certainly not where he wants to throw these curveballs.
Just catches the edge there.
That's a big time mistake pitch.
Dana DeMuth is the crew chief, calling the balls and strikes with Greg Gibson at first, Ed Hickox at second, Mike Estabrook at third. 2-1 now. Wainwright has walked a dozen, 11 of them unintentional in his 30, almost 34 innings of work. So 34 innings, 11 walks, essentially 18 strikeouts, and opponents hitting .311. Righties hitting much better this year off of him than in the past, .329. Three and one.
Yeah, you can right here in the first inning, Greg, see the problems that he's having with that curveball.
He has admitted as much. He needs to sharpen that breaking ball.
It's not breaking much. It's staying up high.
I'm sorry, but Cervelli, he is classic. He did the same thing last night, only did a quick turnaround. You said it last year that he's like must-see TV, where if you're at the ballpark, you have to watch. I mean, obviously not funny in that it should have been ball four, but his reaction is just priceless. 3 and 2. And that won't make him any happier.
That was a pretty good curveball. That's the best one he's thrown. It maybe a little bit harder than the other ones. This one's 75 miles an hour, but the location is was so much better with this one also. Not only was it harder, a little tighter, but they really put it in a good spot. How about the applause for a curveball strikeout?
Is that for the charity for Wainwright? Every strikeout, I believe. Something involved with that.
Was that what they
Kids
were applauding?
Strike is called, I believe.
Oh.
Take another look. Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
Now that's a nice hook. He throws a lot of those. He'll go back to having a lot of success with it.
Jung Ho Kang drives one the other way. Piscotty is going to make the catch. Runner at third. McCutchen will tag, and he will score easily, and the Pirates take a 2-0 lead. Jung Ho Kang has not wasted any time since coming back to the big leagues. Last night, swung at the first 3 pitches, grounded into a double play, popped up and homered. And then homered, of course, in his final at bat, and here, first pitch swinging.
Not showing a whole ton of patience.
Second pitch swinging.
He's saying something that he can hit. You know, I like the fact that he's up there with a runner at third and 1 out. And he takes the ball the other direction. Not trying to pull. If he tries to pull that pitch, it's away a little bit. Probably going to be a ground ball double play.
Mr. 2-out RBI here. Josh Harrison, a team leader in ribbies with 16, and 10 of them coming in these situations.
He's gotten a lot of RBI in these high leverage situations, Greg.
RBIs in high pressure situations.
High leverage.
High pressure. Chopper, third baseman Carpenter will get him. The Pirates get 2, sending 7 men to the plate. Jeff Locke to the hill. developing that 2 spot along with Jung Ho Kang. They pick up the RBIs. Polanco's RBI single and the sacrifice fly for Kang. Early lead. Here is the lineup for Mike Matheny's St. Louis Cardinals. It is Matt Carpenter, Stephen Piscotty, and Matt Holliday, who's 5 out of 14 in his career against the Pirates starter. Randall Grichuk hits cleanup. Yadier Molina follows. Then Matt Adams, Jed Jerko, Aledmys Diaz, and Adam Wainwright. Carpenter was 1 for 5 in last night's ball game.
Take a look at Log's numbers, brought to you by Hyundai. He has been doing much better of late. Struggled for a while, really with that control more than anything else, but not the last 2 outings.
Getting a lot of those early strikes, Jeff Locke, last couple starts, and this his 9th career start against the Redbirds. He's 2-4 with a .398 ERA against the Cardinals. Pirates lefty pitchers against these Cardinals since the start of last year. Left-handers on the Pirates have limited the Cardinal batters to a .192 average. And after getting an early strike, it's now 2-1 on Carpenter. Jeff Locke starts this season 6 innings, 1 run. His first outing, the first road trip, April the 10th in Cincinnati. Gave up 2 earned and 4 2/3 against the Brewers 5 days later. Francisco Liriano pitched a great ball game last night, now 3-2. Then the next start 5 days later in San Diego, really got roughed up, giving up 8 runs in 3+ innings, 11 hits. And then at Coors Field in Denver, 6 shutout frames. There's a line drive to left center field and a base hit. McCutchen gets to it. You wonder if Marte would have been a better option. It's a double for Carpenter.
Carpenter just goes the other way with this, shoots it out there, and it's to Kutch's throwing side. Marte was a left-handed thrower.
I guess my thought was you could see Marte slow down there, Bob. If Marte sprints after that ball and gets to it right away. But it is a double. And now Piscotty. And a strike on the right fielder. A Carpenter, who has twice led the league in doubles, picks up number 7 on the season. And early action for the Cardinals. And 1-1 on Piscotty.
That's that fastball that Locke really needs to be called strikes early in the game. He's been getting that pitch a lot. That one, you know, borderline, kind of the up and in part of the strike zone there. You can see it. It's a little further inside than I thought it was. But that's a pitch he needs to get called a strike early in the game to set everything else up. We saw Liriano with that scenario last night, very good at it.
DeMuth behind the plate today. Last night Mike Estabrook was behind the dish, and
I think there was either 7 or 8 called third strikes in that game last night. That's a good pitcher's umpire there. There's Estabrook. Nice job last night.
Dana DeMuth, the crew chief. Two and 2 on Piscotty.
think that would make me nervous to like be twirling the ball like that in my hand.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just kind of like it's like a nervous thing, isn't it? Twirling that ball around.
Maybe it'd help your nerves, wouldn't it? Cervelli's going to buy the home plate umpire some time as that rattled his cage there.
Imagine umpires get concussions also.
Yeah. Last night it was Estabrook who took a couple of foul balls off the mask, and Cervelli quick to check on his buddy behind home plate.
Who was that the other day? He grabbed a hold of, and then later on the umpire grabbed him back.
Yeah,
remember?
that was great. Topped foul to the left by Piscotty. It remains 2-2. It's Las Diaz.
That's right. Pirate fan got that ball. Nice toss. It's always easy to find the Pirate fans here on the contrast with all the red shirts. And the seats, of course, are red, so in case they don't have a good crowd, it still looks like they do.
Yeah. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Most of the time, though, here in St. Louis, they'll have a pretty good crowd.
And that is the case today. Maybe not a sellout. Their St. Louis Blues are playing the Dallas Stars currently. So some folks might have decided to stay home and watch Stanley Cup playoffs. 3-2 count. And it is ball 4. 9-pitch at bat for Piscotty. Brings up Matt Holliday. Holliday 1 for 4 last night. Struck out a couple of times. Showed you those career numbers really good against Locke lifetime. Holliday has hit into just a couple double plays so far this season. And ball 1. Two and 0. Holliday 2 for 14 against Pirates pitching in the first 4 games of the long season series. That's a 143 mark. Pirates have started 4-0 against the Cardinals in a season series for the first time since 1976, when that team won its first 5 games against the Cardinals in the season series. 2-1. Ray Searage, Pirates pitching coach, and a one-time member of the Cardinals organization. And it's 3-1 now.
Well, so far, I mean, it's just the 3rd hitter of the game, but it doesn't look like Locke has been able to pick off those corners with the fastball and get them called strikes. Need that double play ball right here to get things back in order. He put that one in a perfect spot. Look at that location. That's the one you need for the double play. The down and away fastball and a 3-1 count. A lot of times a right-hand hitter will be overly aggressive and pull that one on the ground. But Holliday took it.
Fouls this one out of play.
Another nice pitch.
Just 5 hits in his last 24 at bats. Cardinals in the midst of a homestand that included 4 games against the Phillies. They took 3 of 4 in that series after being swept to begin the homestand by the Washington Nationals in a 3-game series. Another 3-2 pitch. And now they're loaded. Back-to-back walks. Randal Grichuk will be coming to the plate.
.22 pitches already and without an out. Need a comebacker. One hopper. Home for 1, first for double play. Fastball in on the hands. It's my call, Greg.
I like it.
I saw Cervelli out for that little visit there. It was a little days of deja vu on my part.
Popped up. So, and they're going to run out of room. Oh, and 1 the count.
There you go.
2 strikes on Grichuk.
Well, this is exactly what you need to have happen.
Perfect pitch. Nobody out here in the first inning. Stays 0-2 on Grichuk, who was further down in the lineup originally. He was hitting 6th.
That last fastball just 91 from Locke. Going to try and throw that ball by a hitter upstairs. You got a little bit more on it. He might have had no contact. That one 92. The last start, we saw him throw some 94s and 95s.
Still 1-2.
If he doesn't come up with a double play in this inning, it's going to be a lot of pitches thrown.
Bouncing ball and through. Tie game. Randal Grichuk brings home Carpenter and Piscotty.
Carpenter needed to move that bat. Grichuk lays it right there. And Piscotty ends up going into a slide right on top of the bat. Could have banged up a knee or something on that. That's kind of one of your jobs when you're the first guy to score. Get the bat out of the way. I saw Carpenter immediately say something to him like, "I'm sorry about the bat." Probably was what he was saying. Something along those lines.
Jeff Locke has given up the 2 runs, nobody out here in the first inning. Bring up Yadier Molina. Who was hitting .320 on the year, 1 for 4 last night. That shows bunt. Batting .409 with men in scoring position.
That's got to be just to bring in Jung Ho at third base, don't you think?
I think so.
He can't actually been thinking he was going to drop down a bunt hit there.
One and one on Molina.
But if he's trying to draw in a third baseman, I guess that kind of tells you as a pitcher he's thinking about pulling the ball, which in this situation is good.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things you're trying to do out there on the mound is you're always trying to read what that hitter is wanting to do.
Gets the bunt down.
That's just a sacrifice.
And they throw to third and they get the force.
What was that all about? I mean, he squares around early just to sacrifice bunt. And Jung Ho, as he shouldn't have been, wasn't looking for the bunt. He was playing back. So that's why he was there to make the catch at third.
So it's Matt Adams.
Isn't that odd? Lefty on deck that he would square around and sacrifice.
Yep. I mean, he's hitting, as we just cited, .400 with men in scoring position.
Weird. Last night in the 8th inning with the tying run at first, they didn't sacrifice.
Bouncing ball chance for 2.
Look at this. Wow. Beautiful.
2-2 ball game after 1.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Equinox and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. With express service, you're in and out in no time. Visit barrelservice.com to find a location near you. Let's go Bucks!
So a 2-2 ball game on to the 2nd inning here in St. Louis. 84 degrees at game time.
Well, Greg, an early candidate for a turning point of this game would be the Molina attempted sacrifice bunt. As that really changed that whole inning around for Locke, who was kind of on the ropes there with his pitch count, nobody out. And then it gets the botched sacrifice bunt right back to the mound.
Just trying to go through all the scenarios
and that
as to why.
And then they get the double play.
Just does not make a lot of sense. A number of reasons.
Well, new ball game, 2-2.
Yeah, both starters, Wainwright and Locke, kind of weather the storm. Jordy Mercer leads things off, hitless in 4 at bats last night. Wainwright gave up 4 straight hits to start this game. A single to Jaso, the double off the wall by McCutchen, the RBI single by Polanco, and the base hit by Marte. It's just the second time in his career he's allowed hits to the first 4 batters of a ball game. The only other time was September 8, 2013 at Coors Field in Denver against the Rockies. McCutchen, Marte, Gong, Harrison discussing Wainwright.
Talking about the movement on his fastball, looks like.
Tomorrow it'll be Michael Wacha. Three-2 on Mercer. Just reaches out in a soft serve into right center field. Oh, perfect scenario. 8th man in the order leads off with a hit. The pitcher will try and bunt him over.
Little slider, just punched the other way.
You see 2 sacrifice bunts so far for Locke on the year.
Like Locke kind of punched it that little bit, didn't it? And it would look like he was trying to bunt it to Carpenter. Don't bunt it to Carpenter.
Good thing that ball was foul.
Bunt it to Adams.
That's a double play.
Yeah, bunt it to Adams, not Carpenter.
You see Carpenter well in on the grass.
And you can see exactly why you want to bunt it to Adams. It's possible to bunt the ball toward third and be successful, but now you really have to worry about the speed, that you got to really kill it so it barely rolls out onto the grass. Whereas if you go to first base side, it gives you a little more leeway for a hard bunt. Get away with it.
Two and one.
He's still kind of struggling with that curveball.
Wainwright, kind of a similar situation a few years ago after Tommy John surgery cost him all of 2011. He returned during the 2012 season, and after 6 starts that year was 2-4 with a 5.61 ERA. And he falls behind 3-1. And after his next start, his 7th start of the 2012 season, his ERA ballooned to over 6, but he would finish that season with an earned run average under 4, second half of 2012, an ERA of 3.28. Locke going to get the job done here.
Was able to kill it, just barely roll it out into the grass. Opportunity to score a run now, take the lead back.
Sacrifice 1-4. Hey, kids won't want to miss the chance to be the Moe's Pirate Parrot sidekick before a Buccos home game. Fans ages 6 to 14 can join the Parrot in a pregame festivity on the field at PNC Park. Enter for your chance to be the Parrot sidekick at participating Moe's Southwest Grill locations now through May the 12th. Jaso started this ball game with a base hit to center.
Diaz over there now, right where he got that base hit.
Shortstop was not at the position he's in currently.
always wonder about that. Like, you see some teams will do that. They'll
adjust.
Change, yeah. But I don't even know what.
Why? What makes them
why?
change?
It's like, okay, he hit a ground ball there, so does that mean he's going to hit another one there next at bat?
I mean, if the evidence is overwhelming,
that you're going to play a shift.
Obviously, there's a runner at second, so that has something to do with it.
Why not stay in the shift?
2-1 on Jason.
You know, I don't even see how that has anything to do with it.
You don't
to be honest with you, because if the evidence shows that the best way to prevent him from getting a base hit is to play that side.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, then why wouldn't you still be playing that side even though there's a runner at second base?
Now 2-2.
Sound like lawyers. Let the evidence show.
Remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jason with 9 runs batted in his first campaign with the Pirates. Mercer is at second. Fights this one off and into shallow center field. Catch made by Grichuk. Jaso is the second out of this second inning. Wainwright goes after Andrew McCutchen. Gave up the double off the wall to the Pirates center fielder right after Jaso had started the game with that base hit to center.
A fastball down, a little inside. See, 2 different curveballs from Wainwright today, Greg. He's got one he's throwing 74, 75. That's the one he kind of gets down. It looks like he's more of a 2-strike type curveball. And when he misses upstairs with the hook, it's always a lot slower than that 70, 71. Like he's taking something off and he's just trying to kind of feather it in, but it just won't come down for him. It's like he's just trying to get one in there for a strike.
Francisco Liriano got a bunch of strikes and strikeouts last night. 10 of them in 7 innings. Two and 1. Sean Rodriguez chatting there with Francisco Liriano. Will prove to 3-1.
There's that 75-mile-an-hour curveball. That's the good one that he's throwing. That's the one that's got a little tighter spin to it, breaks harder. Kind of hung it though. I'm sure that when he let go of it, he wasn't thinking that's where he wanted to put it.
He has been a great competitor over the years. Adam Wainwright. Recently moved into 6th place in Cardinals history with his 225th start.
And that's missing a couple of years.
Yeah. Wainwright was originally drafted by the Atlanta Braves in the 1st round in the 2000 draft. And 3 years later dealt to the Cardinals for J.D. Drew. He also got Jason Marquis in that trade, and he strikes out McCutchen looking. Inside Pirates baseball, 10-year-old Jacob Hall forms a tight bond with Clint Hurdle through his fundraising efforts. We'll also investigate what's behind the Pirates' new celebration move and much more. Inside Pirates baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, today after postgame on Root Sports. 2-2. Score, Mike Shannon. There's a Mike Shannon giveaway today, and threw out a first pitch, I believe. The former Cardinal and longtime broadcaster. Adam Wainwright, meantime, gave up the 2 first-inning runs. He's thrown a lot of pitches, but he and Locke are deadlocked, and ball goes one way, bat goes the other. Jed Jerko.
Locke was able to really kind of dodge a bullet in that first inning and minimize the damage. Now let's see if he can get on a little bit of a roll with that control. He's got ahead here, 0-1.
Couple of strikes on Jerko in his first year with the Cardinals.
Another fastball, 91, just not quite throwing as hard as we've seen him.
One ball, 2 strikes, the count. Two balls, 2 strikes on Jed Jerko. And that shifted is Harrison over the other side and gets it to Jaso in time.
Shift works perfectly at time. That's the spot that if you're just playing traditional pole, there's not going to be anybody there. Mercer, of course, is going to be playing over to pull in the hole, and then you have the second baseman just playing, shading up the middle. He's not going to catch that ball. That's not going to be an out, and that's the base hit that the shift takes away.
And then you got a man right there. Aledmys Diaz has been their best hitter, second in the National League. Lines sharply to Gong. Well, I guess I should say he's been their best hitter when Wainwright's not in there. Jung Ho Gong right there. Yeah, Wainwright has been really good at the plate recently. Last 3 at bats for Adam Wainwright, a triple, a double, and a home run. The first Cardinal pitcher with extra base hits, 3 consecutive at bats since Bob Gibson in 1964, and that's where the home run landed. That's Jung Ho Gong territory.
Bob Gibson hit over 20 home runs, I believe, in his career.
24 homers in 17 years for Gibson and 144 career RBIs for the Hall of Famer Bob Gibson. Here's Wainwright's home run Monday against the Phillies. It's Jeremy Hellickson.
But the way Wainwright took off running out of the box.
7th career home run for him.
He had to know that was deep enough.
And this one pretty deep, and it's going to get down. The extra base is over the wall for a double. Now you know why Adam Wainwright vehemently championed keeping the DH out of the National League after he got hurt last year, when calls came from all over baseball after he ruptured that Achilles during an at-bat on his way to first base.
The thing had nothing to do with,
as he said,
hitting either.
I could have gotten hurt fielding a ball.
Yeah,
same way.
All he did was he was trying to run.
Yep.
I mean, are we going to take running out of the game? No, you can't run. You have to walk out to the mound. If you got to cover first, just walk fast.
Well, eventually they'll have the pitchers will be forced to stay on the mound and not field. There he is. He is the champion of the ban the DH. Sorry, Bob, but Wainwright's on your staff. Let's put it that way.
No, I'll let him be the champion.
You're president, but he's your Secretary of State. How about that? 2-out double for Wainwright.
You know, with me, Greg, it's not that I think pitchers are these great hitters or anything. Just the opposite. I know pitchers don't hit well.
Yeah.
But it changes the game so much. I mean, it changes everything about the game. It changes the way that the GM has to acquire players in the wintertime.
Absolutely.
So you don't need a bench. In the National League, you got to have quality extra players. How many games has Joyce not participated in this year? One. If he was in the American League, how many would he have not participated in? Almost all of them. Well, unless he was the DH, which it could be. But my point is that the guys on the bench don't get to play. You don't need them. You write down your 9 players, and there they go. There's so much that goes into how the pitcher has to work differently when there's a pitcher hitting somewhere. It just, the whole strategy of the game is just totally different when you add a DH.
By the way, the National League collectively is currently hitting better than the American League.
And how much?
Now, how about that, Bob?
And how much does it affect a game when you do have a good hitting pitcher?
Oh, yeah.
What an advantage that gives that team.
And what fun it is, by the way, is McCutchen will make the catch, and Adam Wainwright is stranded. So Jeff Locke and Wainwright tied at 2. Talking about this a couple of innings ago when he got his bell rung on a foul ball, and during the break the trainer for the Cardinals came out, Greg Gibson, one of the umpires, his colleague, grabbed the lineup card and went through the we assume they went through all the concussion protocol, and kind of gingerly will walk off, and we'll work now with a 3-man umpiring crew. Don't know this for a fact that this is the reason. I mean, he could just be not feeling well, but
yeah, I mean, he might have flu-like symptoms or something like that.
Maybe Greg Gibson is calling and talking with the MLB replay officials. letting them know what's up.
Why do you think they would be doing that?
I don't know. That's why I'm suspicious about it.
Well, is it because they're going to be a different plate umpire, and so they have to change something in the computer so that the ball strike calls go on his record instead of Dana Demuth's record?
I don't know.
Well, it's all logged. I mean, just like the catchers are logged.
Yeah. But that logging has been going on before replay. So what did they do back then, 3 years ago? Why are they getting on the replay phone headset?
To tell them there's going to be a new umpire behind home plate. Maybe they always did that. Maybe the phone call was made from a different spot instead of right out on the field.
Maybe.
But I mean, all the pitches that are called balls and strikes by a particular umpire get logged.
Right.
I mean, just like the catcher, that's how they have to come up with these percentages for the catcher, of like framing percentages, who's good, who's bad at it. So a lot of that is you got to have the right names in the software in the computer so they could keep track of that stuff.
I believe Greg Gibson becomes the crew chief now, and Ed Hickox is getting on the gear. Back in the umpire room, he will come out and he will then call the balls and strikes as Dana Demuth leaves. Oh, we have a moment. Our day automotive this day in Pirates history. This date, 1977, Pirates beat the Big Red Machine in a slugfest 12-10 final. Two teams combined for 14 extra base hits. Willie Stargell had 3 hits, 2 of them homers, drove in 4. Al Oliver added a 2-run shot. Dave Parker 1 for 4 and extended his hitting streak to 18 games. May 7th, 1977. This day in Pirates history is also this day, Bob. I was pleased to see that in 1991 you pitched at Three River Stadium and beat the San Diego Padres 4-1. You listening?
Yeah, I'm
listening. You're reading something.
I'm listening. Yeah, 4-1.
Yeah, you pitched 6 innings, 1 run, 5 hits. You beat Bruce Hurst, the Padres. Bonds homered in support of your victory, and Ted Power got the save. But the interesting, but the interesting part of it, others accuse you of being kind of slow.
Yeah.
On the mound. Yeah. That game went 2 hours and 18 minutes.
Oh yeah. Of course. There was nothing. You can accuse me all you want. If it's a game where the hitters are cooperating and I'm not giving up tons of hits, then it's going to be a quick game. It's my slow games were because, I gave up 8 runs in 5 innings. That's why they were slow.
So I didn't realize you were such a quick worker.
Very quick.
Man, you really were. 218.
Yeah, get it and throw. Get it and throw. Here we go. Here we go. Sinker baller. Get around balls. Very efficient.
Move
very efficient. Yeah, keep it going. No, I got a note here.
You did.
That's what I was reading.
Gotcha.
From Jim and Veronica are here today. They would like to say hello to Kevin Morrison, who is a Cardinal fan, but his son Lorenzo is a Pirate fan. So I guess they might be really saying hi to Lorenzo. So Kevin, Lorenzo, you guys are probably watching. Jim and Veronica.
Lorenzo.
They're here at the ball game somewhere. They want to say hi to you. Housekeeping. Anything else we need to talk about here while
we have a moment?
While we have a moment.
The While We Have a Moment segment is brought to you by Steve Blass and Company.
Yep. He was the inventor of the While We Have a Moment. Now Wainwright getting a nice rest. Was able to do some work on his bat. A lot of equipment that the home plate umpire has to don before he can go out there. He wears all of his catcher's gear underneath his clothes, so it takes a while for him to get dressed.
I wonder if he's in there like frantically trying to get it all done because I don't want people to be waiting for me.
When you're in a hurry, you can't.
Oh yeah.
You can't, there's a knot
snapping properly.
There's a knot in your shoelace. You can't get out. You're like thinking, no, they're all waiting for me.
Haste makes waste.
The announcers are like having to try and fill right now. They don't really know what to say. They've already gone through all their housekeeping stuff.
While we have a moment. Eric Fryer, a backup catcher, one-time Pirate.
Was that year we had like 6 or 7 catchers?
I think so.
The Fort
McHenry
ended up taking over.
We have a Point Park University tweet. It's great to be a Pirates fan in Korea when Hong Jung-ho is back. So fun to watch him play. Hashtag Let's Go Bucks. It is fun to have him back. Just a remarkable game last night for him.
What's the time differential? About 12 hours or so?
About that.
So it might be like 2 o'clock in the morning?
Probably so. Players still out on the field. I wonder why they just didn't all go in and hang out like a rain delay. Just go back into the dugout and wait this thing out. Like Wainwright.
I don't know, Greg.
And at what point, Bob, though, in all seriousness, do you get to the point where, I should go out there and start to, throw a little bit? I mean, he's been in the dugout now for, it's like a long inning for your offense.
Yeah, I mean, he's still going to be able to, have. In fact, they'll probably let him have as many as he says he needs.
Dana Demuth.
14 hours ahead, Greg. It's 4.
Yeah, I thought it was about 12. It's 14.
4:15 in the morning right now in Korea. Check that out on my smartphone.
Yes, sir. Very smart. And they are smart to get Dana Demuth out of this ball game if he was feeling woozy at all. If it was because of that foul ball. So the second base umpire Ed Hickox now becomes the home plate umpire in this new configuration with a 3-man umpiring crew.
We're going to count as warm-up pitches. I am. I want to see if he gets extra. Doesn't like the ball. He wants to change balls.
Just looking up.
Well, the new plate umpire probably didn't have any. Yeah, he does have new baseballs already. All Wainwright wanted to do was ask a question. I think he asked, how many pitches do I got?
And Hickox himself has sustained some significant injuries throughout his career, including a couple of big concussions. May 14, 2005, Hickox suffered an inner ear injury, including a concussion and several broken facial bones. He was wearing a mask that he would allege later was defective. Ended up filing a lawsuit against the manufacturer. And he ended up winning the lawsuit. So he knows all too well about
doing a little
what Dana Demuth went through.
Doing a little practicing there, kind of getting down, seeing a few pitches.
The umpires rotate, of course. Mike Estabrook was behind the plate in last night's ball game. He moved to third this afternoon, while Dana Demuth, who was at first, then went behind the plate. Ed Hickox went from third base to second, and Greg Gibson, who was at second base last night, moved to first base this afternoon. So Ed Hickox. What kind of an adjustment, though, Bob? I mean, I know that they are graded on the the system now. They have for a few years, but still, we've seen there are umpires that
they're still
call games differently. So this will be interesting.
It's not to the degree as it was, say, 20 years ago, but there are pitchers umpires and hitters umpires, and
well, we've talked about the importance, especially for Jeff Locke, to get those calls, and for the most part,
Wainwright, right here, you just said that Wainwright wanted that pitch. He got called a ball, and then when he got the ball back, he stood there and looked at him like, where was it? How could you call that a ball? And that's something that Wainwright will have to kind of get used to. Right? Got that pitch.
How about that?
And now Polanco kind of turns his head a little bit like, huh? Look at him. He's still shaking his head. No, that can't be a strike.
And again, questioning the new home plate umpire. Wainwright gets the strikeout.
Well-placed fastball upstairs. Got ahead with the hooks and then went upstairs.
Marte grounds to the shortstop Diaz.
Greg, you're asking about umpires getting hurt and how the strike zone can change. Reminds me of the, and I'm sure there's a lot of people at home who are thinking the same thing. What about '92, Game 7 in Atlanta? John McSherry, kind of a legendary pitchers type umpire, left the game, got woozy, didn't feel well, and there was some borderline pitches in that 9th inning, as everybody knows. No reason to get into it. They were called balls, not strikes. So did that have an effect on the game? Who knows? But you're right. It's something that the pitchers and the hitters can sometimes have to deal with right in the middle of a ball game.
An 11-minute, 12-second delay to replace the umpire behind home plate. And right away, Wainwright gets 2 outs following the delay, but falls behind now 2-1 on Cervelli. Adam Wainwright. Is he getting right? Across the street watching the Blues Stars NHL playoff game. Use your Port Authority Connect card to save big on Pirates tickets this season. Save up to $8 per ticket on select Sunday through Thursday home games at PNC Park. Connect and save with the Port Authority Connect card. Get your tickets at pirates.com/Connect card. Well, Jeff Locke now will face Stephen Piscotty and see what effect the new umpire has on his afternoon.
Oh, and I think of his little layoff he had in between pitches.
Right. First pitch swinging. McCutchen. And gone. Piscotty homers to give the Cardinals a 3-2 lead. The first pitch after that long delay.
Now he had the delay, what was 11.5-minute delay, and then also the length of the inning.
Piscotty's 5th, the 3rd allowed by Locke on the year.
Watch it. See where it was. Right down the middle is where it was. It hits right on top of the wall. Barely got over the fence. There's where he wanted that pitch, I'm sure. In the inside corner.
Matt Holliday to center field. And into right center goes McCutchen. So Locke gives up the leadoff home run to Stephen Piscotty. And again, the 3rd allowed by Locke on the season. This is his 6th start. There had been a lot of talk at his last time out about that velocity. If you're watching our game on Root Sports, you saw that his fastball was at times, in fact, often you would say at like 95 miles per hour, which raised some eyebrows. We learned that pitch effects had to recalibrate. This ball right back to the pitcher, 1-3 on the putout. Brings up Yadier Molina. So with Locke, more a matter of location for the Pirates starter. As Molina fouls it out of play, he bunted with runners at first and second and no one out in the first inning, and was retired on a 1-5 force play at third base. Curious decision by the veteran Molina. And there's a former Cardinal catcher working with Dan McLaughlin there on your left. The great Tim McCarver. Imagine he had something to say about
played in 4
Molina.
decades.
That's right.
4 to 59 to 80. Yeah, that's kind of a mystery what that bunt was. Like I said, that early candidate for a turning point in this game.
to see Jung Ho Kang make his first appearance in a Pirates uniform in 2016. I'm Robbie, it's Mikowski, and that includes the Pirates backup catcher, Chris Stewart. So before the ball game, they're both in the weight room, and Stu decides to talk a little bit of trash to him. Hey, Gung, how many home runs do you have this season? Hey, I have another home run. I have one more home run than you do. Well, obviously that lasted all of about 2 hours. So Jung Ho Kang comes over, slaps a bunch of high fives, walks over to Chris Stewart, Greg and Bob, and says, Junta, Junta. Stewart kind of looks at him, knows he's talking to him in Korea. Stewart walks over to interpreter H.K. Kim and said, Junta, why is he saying Junta? H.K. has a laugh and says, Stu, he's saying smart hitting. That's smart hitting in Korean. So a little bit of trash talk for Stu. It lasted all of about a couple hours, but I think everybody is excited for it with Jung Ho Kang and the 2 bombs last night.
That's got to be the new rallying cry now, doesn't it, Robbie? Junta. Smart hitting,
I think they should use that.
Jung Ho Kang, sacrifice fly in the first.
Greg, you might be able to incorporate that into the game. Raise the Jolly Roger, Junta.
Raise the Jolly Roger, smart hitting.
I like it.
Dana DeMuth, by the way, out for the rest of the game and is going to be re-evaluated under protocols for a potential head injury. The official statement update from Major League Baseball. So now
saw the umpires go over and have another conversation with New York on their headset in between innings.
Here comes the shortstop Diaz. Retires Kang.
They also went and talked to both managers.
What could that be about?
I don't know. That's why I was just curious. They were just. I mean, they wouldn't be giving the managers health updates, I don't think. Has to be something related to what's going on in the game.
What impact do you think only 3 umpires has on replay?
That's to me is what.
Could they have said you guys are going to have unlimited challenges?
Perhaps.
Line to left, and Holiday comes in, and
maybe an extra challenge.
Yeah, don't look
I
now,
don't know.
by the way, but Wainwright has retired 11 of the last 12 batters he's faced.
But it has to be something along those
I
lines.
bet that's what it is. If they're calling that, if they're going back to talking to
New York, and then they're having discussions with the managers.
Yeah. And because they have one less umpire to work, well, they're not going to, at times perhaps, have as good a view as they would with 4 umpires. Maybe they tell the managers you get unlimited or maybe one more challenge. Oh, and 2 now on Mercer, a 3-2 Cardinal lead. Adam Wainwright setting down 11 of the last 12 Pirates he's faced after giving up 4 consecutive hits to start the game, and he's going to have his second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. That was just 9 pitches for the veteran righty.
It's time for the Toyota RAV4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
3-2 Cardinals. Going to the bottom of the 4th inning. Beautiful day here in St. Louis.
Maybe some thunder showers coming in this evening, but right now it is absolutely beautiful, warm, like a midsummer day. Good day for ice cream.
Day before Mother's Day. Are you on TV tomorrow or radio?
Television tomorrow.
Okay. You and Joe have a special
you want me to
Mother's Day show?
You know, do any?
Say Happy Mother's Day to
well,
my mom.
We'll probably have a moment, and so I can do something for you.
Ground ball to Josh Harrison at shallow right. One out.
Did you see me? Oh, while we have a moment, Greg Brown would like to.
I might do that.
Yeah.
Hand you a list.
All right.
After giving up the home run, Locke has set down 4 straight. Brings up Jed Jerko. A little rough start for Locke in that first inning.
Yeah, both teams had opportunities to land a real heavy punch in that first inning, but 2 runs. I mean, as a starter, you could kind of accept that. And that's what both pitchers escaped with after the first inning was all said and done.
Jerko hit right into the shift his first time up. Josh Harrison playing on the shortstop side of second, and Jerko grounded right to him. There you see Jay Hay. One ball and 2 strikes. Jed Jerko, 27-year-old, who last year, after hitting .210 in his first 46 games with the Padres, was optioned to the minors. Gong for the second out. Jerko 0 for 2 as Jeff Locke seems to have picked up the pace and starting to throw more strikes. See that pitch count now at 61.
And that's really, I think, where Locke was able to escape that first inning. He had thrown 23, 24 pitches, I think, without getting an out in that first inning.
Broken bat pop up. Be a quick 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Locke. Now he and Wainwright battling in a pitcher's duel. here in St. Louis. We invite you to get on board with a new Pirates 12-pack plan fueled by Sheets. Lock in the best seats at PNC Park with a made-to-order plan. And plans include postseason pre-sale opportunities and free food from Sheets. Get your 12-pack today at pirates.com/12-pack. Pirates will be on the road for a while. This is game 2 of a 9-game, 3-city trip. Finish up here tomorrow, then it's on to Cincinnati for 3 against the Reds starting on Monday night. Following Thursday's off day, a big 3-game series showdown against the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley, with revenge, I'm sure, on the minds of the Pirates when they get there. Right now, first order of business to find a way to get to Adam Wainwright as they did in the first inning.
It's kind of an odd deal to think about it. Pirates for 3 years now have been battling the Redbirds, you know, for this division. It's been the Cardinals that's been in their way. But it's the Cub series that it seems to have developed an edge to it.
Just like that, you know,
yeah,
overnight.
Just, I mean, it's like that's where, you know, the tempers are flaring, and so I am very much looking forward to getting to Chicago and seeing how this series goes, or that series. I mean, the one in Chicago.
See about all those flags and have
the Yankees of the National League
here. Yep.
Yankees of the National League.
That's what they are.
Those aren't like division championships or anything like that. Those are their world championships. They have room up there for just the run-of-the-mill stuff. Tremendous franchise. It's quite impressive.
Bouncing ball. Churko, that is 11 straight, retired by Adam Wainwright, and he has set down now 14 of the last 15 he's faced. As we said at the beginning, you can look at all the numbers of his first 6 starts, but this is Adam Wainwright. He's a different animal.
You know, he's smart. He's going to learn how to evolve. If his curveball is maybe not what it should be or what it used to be, and also the fastball. I mean, you know, he was never somebody that you just thought of as just rear back and throw gas by people, but kind of a better than average fastball. Well, not so much anymore. Throwing that fastball 89, 90. But he's learning how to pitch with there. 92. That's one of the better ones he's thrown this afternoon, velocity-wise.
He was the starting pitcher for the National League in the 2014 All-Star game in Minnesota. He was off to a great start last year when he got hurt. After the 4 starts.
Yeah, you could see him, Greg, in the middle of June being one of the better starting pitchers in the league.
Yeah. Wouldn't put it past him at all.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a surprising thing. We hope not. Keep our fingers crossed that he does not get back to the dominant pitcher that he has been in the past. That wouldn't be good for us.
He has retired the side in order in 3 consecutive innings. 3-2 St. Louis.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
3-2 ball game here in favor of the Cardinals. A home run by Stephen Piscotty. The difference so far came leading off the third inning, and Piscotty will hit third in this bottom of the fifth.
Red shirt and a pirate hat. Odd combination this afternoon.
Wainwright, who doubled in the second. His last 4 at bats, he has tripled, doubled, homered, doubled. His battery mate, Yadier Molina. Jung Ho Kang going to handle this one. And now Locke, since the home run, he has set down 7 in a row.
It's really kind of amazing how both these pitchers have just like shrugged off that first inning. Since then, it's been no problem. And it's not even just not giving up any runs, but some real efficient outs. Not having to go into a bunch of deep counts.
Two 2-0 on Carpenter. Jeff Locke was selected by the Atlanta Braves in the second round, 2006. That was 3 years after Atlanta had traded Adam Wainwright to the Cardinals.
A couple of Braves going at each other, huh?
They did such a tremendous job, didn't they, for so long? You always take notice when any pitcher had been drafted by the Braves. You take notice.
I don't know if what they did.
Oh, struck him out looking. Oh, Carpenter. The new home plate umpire, Ed Hickox. It's the first strikeout for Jeff Locke. And you can see why Carpenter wasn't happy.
Yeah, that was not a strike.
That's exactly what he's saying. That's not a strike. That's not a strike.
Yeah, back to the Braves real quick. Just,
you said you don't know what they did or how they did it.
String that many first place finishes together.
Yeah.
I mean, how can that ever be accomplished again?
Don't see it happening again.
I mean, that would be tough to do in any sport, much less baseball, where there's so much can happen.
Loch Ness Monster, Jeff Locke. Now that looks like it's going to drift out of play. Jaso will go over. Remain 2-2.
There's some blocks.
Yeah. And there as well. Another foul. I asked him, by the way, Jaso, when we wondered why he held his cap when he went for a foul ball at PNC Park. He really didn't have an answer. And I said, well, Bob thinks it's because you were a former catcher. It just happened. He goes, I guess maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, it was like how they hold
I said, why don't you just throw it away? You know, just throw it. He said, well, it's falling off. I said, well, why don't you just throw it? He goes, well, what if I step on it?
Yeah, like a mask. Boy, he has made just, I say it, I mean, over and over all the time, but the progress that he has made as a defensive player at first base is really impressive.
Yeah. Oh, I brought that point up about, I said that's the catcher in you holding on to that cap like a mask. He then added, yeah, you remember later in the ball game, a hard hit ball,
yeah, he
kind
went
of
to both
blocked.
knees,
Like,
yeah.
He said, I kind of blocked the ball like a catcher too at first.
Absolutely, which at first base,
It's fine.
You have that time. Yeah, just whatever you have to do to keep the ball in the infield, you do it. And if the pitcher's not there for you to flip the ball, it's his fault.
Marte,
he's got it.
Makes the catch. Just in enough on Piscotty. He was flirting with a second home run. It's 3-2 St. Louis. Ahead tomorrow, the series finale. Garrett Cole will go for the Bucks against Michael Wacha. Coverage begins at 1:30. Cole looks to even his record. Wacha looks to go over 500. Two of the better young righties in Major League Baseball will go at it tomorrow. Pirates have not said who will pitch the opening game of the series in Chicago. That will be interesting. I mean, you could, if you would keep,
because of the day off.
Yeah, day off on Thursday. You could start with Cole if you wanted, then you'd skip somebody, but we'll see what they decide. Here's Polanco. He has singled and struck out, and again, Wainwright has retired a dozen straight and 15 of the last 16. What I'm sure is a very pleasing and encouraging sign for Mike Matheny and the Cardinals. Michael Wacha goes tomorrow.
Wainwright again looking in. wondering where the call was on that hook.
Oh, right there. I think rather than yell at the umpire, he looked over toward third, kind of off in the distance to get some
yell into
relief.
space.
2-2 the count on Polanco rather than yell right at Hickox.
You don't really yell. You just kind of like question. You want the plate umpire to know that you think he missed the call, but you don't want to do it in a way that's going to show him up.
And that's popped up. Diaz can't see it. The third baseman will call for it. Carpenter. Shortstop lost it.
Yeah, Diaz asked for help and he got it.
Point Park University tweet. Another former Braves pitcher. Yep. Bob Walker talking about former property of the Braves and Jeff Locke and Adam Wainwright.
The same category as some of those other guys we were talking about, though.
Come on, you're selling yourself short.
No, I'm not. It wasn't very good when I was a Brave.
What was the trade again? From Philly to Atlanta. What was it?
That was for Gary Matthews. And then the way I left Atlanta was more indicative of my worth at the time, I think.
How's that? How'd you leave?
I got released. Had an ERA in the high 4s, Greg.
Heck, back then, I mean.
Well, back then that was a high ERA.
You understand being released, but
nowadays it's not so bad.
Well, Wainwright's ERA started at 6.68 today, but it's dropping. We talked about that 2012 season he went through after Tommy John surgery and after his 7th start, an earned run average over 6, but he got it down below 4 by the end of the year. Nice little play by Adams.
Good job by Wainwright making sure he was there with a very fast runner, obviously, in Marte.
Adam Wainwright was on the hill for that World Series. 2006 against the Detroit Tigers. That was when he was coming out of the bullpen. Yadier Molina, of course, has been part of this combination. And a base hit finally. Francisco Cervelli, a 2-out single, ends the string. John Mozeliak, the general manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, has done a fantastic job since taking over for Walt Jocketty. This Cardinal team that led all of baseball with 100 wins last season. And he didn't do a whole heck of a lot over the winter. Did sign Mike Leake, acquired Jed Jerko.
After last season, they had all kinds of injuries and won 100 games. You wouldn't think they would have to do much, just hoping to be healthy.
Carlos Martinez left the game last night with fatigue.
Understand he's been battling the flu for a while now. Looking at the world through rose-colored glasses.
2-1 count on Gong. Sacrifice fly in the first, bounce to the shortstop Diaz his last time up. Pirates down a run. Pretty incredible, though. You look at this series over the last few years of how every game. I mean, last night was kind of unusual that somebody won by 2 runs.
Yeah.
Pirates won at 4-2, but so evenly matched. The Pirates and the Cardinals. Since the start of 2013, 61 matchups. The Pirates have won 31 of them. Another scoreless frame for Wainwright. Redbirds up by a run. St. Louis Cardinals in front. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in the game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Three, 4, 5 men in the order for the Cardinals. Broken bat. Marte misjudging that liner that started to take off on him. And
I think you heard the bat. Didn't sound good. A little surprised it went that far. I think he was doing the hokey pokey.
Was,
2 steps in and had to go back.
Put his left arm out to make the catch. Ian McCutcheon talking about that broken bat liner. Gold Glover, Starling Marte. Andrew McCutcheon, a Gold Glover. Two and one on Randall Grichuk. Three and one the count on Randall Grichuk. Grichuk had a 2-run single in the first. and caught by Jordy Mercer. Line drive. Mercer makes the play. 2 outs.
This is an excellent play. This is not like getting a line drive hit at an infielder. Mercer reading this quickly off the bat. You have the daytime with all the shirts in the background. Kind of a tough deal. And what was that, about 3 steps he made before he dove?
He catches that ball. It's behind him.
Excellent play.
Gold Glove might be in his future. Bounce to Gong. Jeff Locke on a roll. 8-pitch inning there, and he has set down 12 straight Cardinals. Jordy Mercer, heck of a play. 3-2. St. Louis.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Jordy Mercer will hit second in the 7th inning. Making that fine defensive play. Jeff Locke due up third, so he is done for the afternoon. See if the Pirates can get him a couple runs.
Really an amazing job at keeping that pitch count down after that first inning. He ended up, I think, with just 89 pitches through 6 innings. If he wasn't getting pinch hit for, he could easily go another one.
Jared Hughes getting ready. Just like you, Bob, after your starts, you go sit down next to Ray Miller. I can just see you doing that.
I had to go hydrate because I was always a little dehydrated after 6 innings. I would be in the clubhouse right now.
1-2 count on Jay Hay. Line to left his last time up. See Wainwright now. 93 pitches. And toward left Over is Holiday, approaching the wall. It's going to be off the wall. Harrison into second base with a stand-up double to begin this 7th inning.
What you're looking for is to get somebody into scoring position with nobody out. When this ball was hit, I thought it's a little off the end of the bat, but it carried very well. Hit Mr. Buck right in the shoulder.
Brings up Jordy Mercer. Son Juan O up in the bullpen for St. Louis. South Korea. Mercer drops down a good bunt. A little surprise was Carpenter, and he gets to it for the out. It's like Carpenter and Wainwright froze initially.
Carpenter's thinking about going back, but you know, I don't think it's popular to be taught nowadays. But in my view, anytime it's going to be a tag play over there, if the ball is put down toward the third baseman, go get it. Even if the pitcher can handle it, yell at him to get out of the way, get the out at first base.
Now that's going to be it for Wainwright,
because that could have turned out to be a disaster right there. They get nobody out on that play because you're going to maybe take a huge gamble on a tag play off on a guy that runs well to boot. And Jay Hay.
Well, Wainwright looked like he wanted to stay in, but Mike Matheny will lift him, and Wainwright, his longest outing so far this season, 6 1/3, leads with the lead. Right, shaky at the start, Bob, but he really started to look like the old Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, he really did. He did. The curveball started to work much better for him after that first inning. There were so many kind of lazy curveballs that were left up high early on. But that one right there, that last one, that strike 3 pitch to McCutchen, that curveball was 77 miles an hour. I mean, he really got on that one, and that's a big difference from early in the ball game, the velocity of that curveball alone.
So he goes 6 1/3, allows the 7 hits, responsible for Harrison at third, and now Matt Joyce will come to bat. He was announced as the pinch hitter for Locke, and here is Son Juan Oh. Played last year in Japan, but a star in South Korea. Signed a 1-year deal over the winter with the Cardinals. Infield in against Matt Joyce.
See if Joyce tries to take something out toward left center here. Going to try and pitch him away.
See the great numbers pinch hitting this season. Last night, flied out as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning against Seth Maness. Infield in, trying to cut off that tying run. Oh, 0-2. Translator there, middle between Matheny and pitching coach Derek Lilliquist. (15 2/3 innings, 20 strikeouts for O. 8 hits, 3 runs, 41 saves last year, 357 career saves, but signed as a setup man. Oh, the block by Molina. Frantically trying to find it, didn't realize it was right there at his position, and for the time being saves a run. Maybe the umpire helped out too.
Pretty amazing how far in front of the plate that ball hit. That was 4 to 5 feet in front of home plate where that ball bounced. See that the dark mark out there.
Grounded to first. Runner breaks for the plate, and now they've got Harrison caught between first and second, and Joyce takes off and out there and throws it into right field, but the back up by Piscotty. Harrison almost pulled off that Houdini act, but stayed in the rundown long enough. The out call.
Well, the Pirates, they did that to perfection. But that's what you're supposed to do right there. If you know you're going to be out at plate, then you got to get yourself into a rundown and stay alive and let the hitter get into scoring position so you don't lose a lot.
Now it's up to Jaso with 2 outs.
He was going to take a base hit, most likely, to score Jay Hay with 2 outs, and so now he's still in the same situation. So, and you ask the Cardinals to throw the ball around a little bit, give them an opportunity, maybe throw one away somewhere.
Piscotty was Johnny on the spot.
And Adams made an accurate throw to the plate. And that's what you're always thinking about, is like, well, maybe somebody will get in a hurry and throw one away to the plate. Force that other team to try and play a little defense, make some throws, give them an opportunity to mess something up.
Still 0-2 on Jaso. Cardinals unsuccessfully bid on Korean first baseman Byung-Ho Park, who ended up signing with the Twins over the winter. And headed into left field, Jaso ties the game with a 2-strike, 2-out hit into left center field. It is 3-3.
And a little nod to Jay Hay. Not only did he get the leadoff double in the first place to get the inning going, but I mean, this is
worked that
yes,
pickle to perfection.
You're staying in the rundown long enough for the hitter to get over in the scoring position. So now you do get a single, and Joyce able to score on it. Beautifully done.
Jaso's 10th RBI, his second with 2 outs this season. Closes the book on Wainwright. He gives up 3 runs. And now McCutchen facing O.
Joyce with 2 hits through the left side of the infield this afternoon.
Jaso.
Did I say Joyce?
Look out over there. It gets back.
I don't know if there's a stadium in the country that gets more excited about a catcher throwing a ball than. I mean, it was like somebody just hit a home run. Listen. On a pickoff throw, they made all that noise. They love their Molina.
Yeah, they do. Backhands that and guns it to first again.
He wanted, and no one said a word.
Now that's the quietest pickoff I've ever heard.
It was a delay.
Yeah.
See, everybody kind of looked away. That was like a delay steal. That was a delay pickoff throw.
Talk about contrast of sound. The 2 pickoffs back to back at first. Green light, 3-1. Three and 1 on Andrew McCutchen. And he reaches. So O got the ground ball.
Go ahead run now in scoring position.
But then he gave up the RBI single to Jaso and walks McCutchen. Polanco 1 for 3, RBI single in the first. The Cardinals also put a bid in on Jung Ho Kang, the winner before last. But the Pirates won out on that bid. So they get O, who pitched again in Japan last year. It would be interesting to see a matchup of O and Kang, but might not get to that point. Ball 1 on Polanco. Kevin Segrist. One-0 count, a big at bat here for Polanco. The Pirates have just tied it. Grounded to the second baseman. Jerko on to Adams. John Jaso ties it 3-all.
Here at stretch time up here in the Midwest in St. Louis, but down on the Gulf Coast of Florida, we have a pretty unique double play combination for the Bradenton Marauders, and that is Kevin Kramer and Kevin Newman, which brought up this tweet from Benjamin Hill. On Seinfeld night, they planned it for tonight with the Bradenton Marauders. Pretty clever thing, said Seinfeld night, featuring the double play combo of Kramer and Newman. They're having a Festivus celebration at McKechnie Field. Marauders staff, will be dressed as Seinfeld characters. And they're having some in-game contests, Greg and Bob, like a man-hand station, and a chance for a fan to win a DVD set signed by, who else? Kramer and Newman. Some pretty good creative stuff going on there with the staff of the Bradenton Marauders and our friend Trevor Gooby helping execute everything down there. Seinfeld night, good stuff here tonight.
That is good stuff. Congratulations to them for that. And congratulations going out to Nate March, who does a lot of the sales work, has done that with the Marauders for a handful of years and has been their broadcaster. His last day today as he moves on. Congratulations to Nate March, real good guy. And right away, Natali Felice gets Matt Adams to bounce to third. Felice relieves Locke, who went 6 innings, gave up the 3 runs. Locke had 2 first-inning walks, gave up a pair of hits, then didn't walk a batter his last 5 innings, and allowed 1 run on 2 hits over the last 5 frames.
Both pitchers such a similar start, and both of them going to end up with no decision. Got over the hump in the first, settled down, pitched well. Neither one of them are going to figure in the outcome.
That's Segrist going to be taking over here for the Cardinals. Mike Matheny checks out his lineup card. Still 2-2 on Jerko, who has bounced to the left side of the infield both times. Up and in. 96. Still 2-2 on Jerko.
They're definitely getting a different style at bat than what he had been seeing with Locke.
Hard throwing righty Neftali Felice, who returns to St. Louis, by the way, for the first time since Game 6 of the 2011 World Series. Might be a little weird for him. Strikes out Jerko.
96-mile-an-hour fastball up and in, and then a real good slider down and away.
John Jaso tweets, gets on base, gets an RBI, because that's what John Jaso does. Jaso has been so clutch so far. And John Jaso Jingleheimer hit. That's good. That's clever. Hashtag Let's Go Bucks. Ledmus Diaz now. He is lined out to third and popped to second. 2 outs here in the 7th. Felice looks for a 1-2-3 frame. He gave up that game-tying triple in the bottom of the 9th inning to current Pirate David Freese as a member of the Texas Rangers. 2-0 on Aledmys Diaz. Toward left center field, Marte over, and that's going to get past him. And
what a start this young man has had to his career, baseball career. Major League Baseball
sensational.
career.
A double to the left center gap and hitting close to 400.
He's trying to put a little bit of an early down payment, very early down payment on possible Rookie of the Year.
We talked about him last night, that it was because of the injuries that he even got this opportunity. Yeah. Injuries to starter Johnny Peralta, then they traded for Ruben Tejada, then he got hurt. Well, now Brandon Moss, who was in the original starting lineup, batting for Brandon Moss. A 2-0 count. Moss was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in last night's game.
That looked to be a pretty good pitch.
Tally Feliz behind in the count, 3-0, does not get that call.
Yeah, that was right on the corner. That was right where he wanted it. .30 slider for a strike.
Toward right, Polanco back, and there. Didn't look very comfortable as he approached the warning track, but he got the job done, as did Feliz. shots from the Allegheny Health Network Super Bowl to the sounds of Jonathan Jackson and E Nation. We are now on to the 8th inning here, tied at 3. A day that started 84 degrees in St. Louis. This game that began at 1:15 Central Time. Kevin Segrist gave up one of the 2 homers to Jung Ho Kang last night. He gave up the second Kang homer into the upper deck in left field in the 8th inning, and it'll be Marte for the Pirates, followed by Cervelli and Kang. Marte 1 for 3. For Segrist, his 15th appearance, scored upon in just 2 of those 15 outings. A home run by Kang last night, and a handful of games back against the Diamondbacks on April the 25th. Segrist led the league with 81 appearances last year out of the bullpen for the Cardinals. A 2.17 ERA. Cisco Cervelli on deck. Up and in.
He's one of those lefties, kind of like the type of a lefty that the Pirates liked.
Tony Watson type.
Yeah, effective both sides. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, his splits are kind of reverse. He actually has better stats against right-handers.
Righties hit over 100 points worse against him last year.
Got a good fastball that he has good command of.
Righties hit just 164 against the lefty Segrist last season. Batting 171 this year.
I was looking at his pitch selection splits, Greg, yesterday, and he throws like 90% when he does face a lefty. Like 90% fastballs.
See the career numbers there.
Which is kind of odd, because normally lefty on lefty, that's when they bring out their breaking pitch. 92% of his pitches are fastballs against left-hand hitters. Really an odd situation with him. He must not have a lot of confidence in his breaking pitch to throw all those fastballs to left-hand hitters.
Off-speed pitches up.
He's pretty much fastball changeup type pitcher. You know what Joe told me about him yesterday on the radio side? Middle name is Ryan. Ryan Segrist.
John Joe Block told you that?
Yeah.
Cervelli going to get himself a 1-out single. His second straight hit.
They're falling again. Well, he really stayed inside the baseball on that one. Looks like he's kind of rubbing his hands together a little bit too. That one definitely stung on him.
So Jung Ho Kang now against Segrist. Smelly on first with 1 out and a tie game in the 8th. Jung Ho Kang bounced into a double play. The first pitch he saw in the 2nd inning last night, then the 2nd pitch in the 4th inning popped up. 3rd pitch he swung and homered. That was off Tyler Lyons, the lefty. 3 pitches and a home run last night, and then in the 8th, I believe it was a 2-2 count off Segrist.
It was a
homered into the upper deck.
3rd or 4th pitch. You saw something along those lines.
This afternoon, sacrifice fly to right, bounced to short, ground ball to 2nd. Here's the upper deck home run. The 2nd that Segrist has allowed this season. 2nd home run, and the 2nd time in Jung Ho Kang's Major League Pirates career. He's had a 2-homer game.
Big Mac land.
Last 10 years, hit 2 home runs. The 2nd longest stint between homers in the major leagues. Chris Parmelee homered twice for the Orioles last June 16th against the Phillies after he had last played in the major leagues September 27th the previous year. For Kang, September 17th was his last game before last night. So a real rarity. A 2-homer game after that long an absence in the big leagues, and now it's 2-2. Segrist gave up only 4 home runs all of last year in 75 innings. And again, so tough against right-handed batters. Out of play. Jung Ho Kang last year, 287. Batting average with 15 homers, 58 runs batted in, finished 3rd in National League Rookie of the Year voting. 29 years old, from Gwangju, Korea. 2-2. The runner at first and 1 out in this 3-3 ball game. Segrist gets him.
Jung Ho was trying to be a little conservative as far as how he charged out after the fastball. That last pitch that he fouled off over toward the Cardinal dugout was a changeup, which shows you that he was waiting as long as he could to pull the trigger. And I think the Cardinals saw that, and Segrist stepped it up with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to get it by him. Reading what that hitter's trying to do.
Harrison began last inning with a double off the left field wall. Bucks tied it with a 2-out single from John Jaso. Reaches out, and he's done it again. Opposite field single for Josh Harrison.
Let's talk about reading the hitter again here. And you kind of like, you go back over the at bat. He threw the first fastball right by him, threw the second fastball right by him, and then decided to go change up on the next pitch. See, that's another thing that happens, is it like you start wondering, okay, now I threw two by him. He's probably going to make an adjustment here. He's going to try to dial it up a little so that I can't throw this third one by him. So I'm going to throw him that changeup down and away. And perhaps he outthought himself.
Crowd reacting as they see the one-time Cardinal hero come out on deck.
You know, it's not just one guy making these decisions. Also, it's that, you know, the catcher and the pitcher both are trying to think about what the hitter's trying to do and what they need to do to change it. And they don't always agree either.
Two-strike hit to right for Harrison, and a two-strike count now on Mercer, trying to find a way to get him home. Cervelli. .95. 1-2.
Missed inside a little bit with that.
And 22 pitches for Segrist, already his season high in any one outing. That's Mercer. Strikes out the side, gives up a couple of hits, go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 3-all. Live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. 3-3 game. Fred Bird asking for noise on UPMC scoreboard. We'll shout out too to PJ and Jason at St. Margaret's Radiology. It's from my friend Connie Humphrey asking us to give a shout out to them as Jared Hughes Strike on Carpenter. He has doubled, flied out, and struck out looking. Top of the order against Jared Hughes. Hughes, you know, recently back off the disabled list himself. His first appearance of the season 7 days ago. Bouncing ball, and Harrison there. 1 out.
Love to see Jared getting those ground balls. And another little, part of the puzzle that wasn't in place when the season started as far as the pitching. And Jared's been a very important member on that bullpen for quite a while now. He has been kind of Clint's fireman. A lot of times he'll come in the middle of innings, try and roll a ground ball, get a double play to get things over with.
Stephen Piscotty's home run off Jeff Locke leading off the 3rd inning gave the Cardinals a 3-2 lead, and the Pirates tied it in the 7th. Two and one. Trevor Rosenthal loosens in the bullpen for the Cardinals. Three and one on Piscotty. Deep to left. And a fair ball into the corner. A double for Piscotty on a 3-1 pitch.
Well, that had to be awfully close. Marte's over there now looking at the chalk line. It was just far enough in on him that it didn't carry to be a home run. Pirates are deciding whether they want to challenge that or not. I guess not. I think I can see where it hit. It looked like right on top of the white line.
Piscotty on base for the 3rd time. Here is Holiday. Holiday's numbers on the year. He is a .500 career hitter against Jared Hughes. 5 out of 10 with a home run.
Holiday's one of those guys got good power. Look how deep the outfield has to play him, even though the go-ahead runs at second base, and you would like to be able to give yourself a chance at throwing home. If you had a hitter up there that less of a power hitter, you could like cheat in a couple of steps and maybe give yourself an opportunity to get to a ground ball base hit quicker. But with Holiday, you're kind of, I don't know.
Broken bat liner to short for the 2nd out.
This one not hit all that hard. It was a broken bat line drive. Good job by Piscotty reading the line drive. Froze, got back. Grichuk's got decent power also. So again, same thing applies. You would like to cheat in a little bit, but it's tough to do. You don't want him hitting the ball over your head.
Grichuk, a 2-run single in the first. Lined out in the 6th. Jordy Mercer made an excellent play on him. Be very careful to this guy, Grichuk. Wow, up the middle. And they take the lead. Piscotty scores. Cardinals lead it.
Grichuk's a guy that they would love to get going with the bat too, Greg. Middle of the lineup hitter. Has been off to that slow start. Just a well-placed ground ball. See what I was talking about there. Piscotty has got his foot on third base before McCutchen could even get to that ball. That's why you would rather have somebody with not much power at the plate so you could cheat in.
And that's why I thought they would really be careful because of that. First base was open. Molina no home runs, even though he is 400 hitter with men in scoring position. He's just 2 for 11 lifetime against Jared Hughes. It's a 182 batting average, but instead Grichuk delivers the go-ahead hit here in the 8th. Rosenthal will be looking for a save. Falls behind Molina 2-0. There are the career numbers we're talking about.
Pitching with pretty decent velocity this afternoon. A lot of his fastballs, mid-90 range, that one 94. Ground ball up the middle and a broken bat fly ball that hit the chalk line is the difference right now.
Walks Molina now. It's Matt Adams.
Yeah, obviously he didn't want to have this situation, this scenario come up. You might not know exactly what the numbers are when a hitter steps in, but you do know who you pitch decent against. And I'm sure that Hughes has had a good feeling with Molina stepping in.
Ray Searage will pay Hughes a visit.
Bullpen for the Pirates is quiet, been quiet.
Adams hitless in 5 career at-bats against Hughes. 0 for 2 against Jeff Locke. He bounced into an inning double play in the first.
Somebody's getting up, starting to throw in that pin.
A.J. Schugel. Now the runners will move up 90 feet.
looking for something away and got that ball down and in. A long look over to the dugout to see if they wanted to put him on.
Right-handed batting Jed Jerko on deck, though they do have Colton Wong, left-handed hitter, available, along with Jeremy Hazelbaker.
It's kind of losing his command a little bit with Adams up there. He's missed badly with 2 of the 3 pitches.
Two count. One pitch away from perhaps walking Adams. He's facing a bases loaded situation. See if he can't get Cards first baseman right here. Well, Jerko will bat with the bases loaded.
If they want to, he's ready, but doesn't look like going to make any moves right now. Maybe with a right-hand hitter up there, that'll get Hughes back in his groove as far as his control.
Last time up, he struck out against Natali Felice. 7th batter to face Hughes in this 8th inning. Oh, 2 count.
He has got back in the control. Jumping out ahead now, 0-2. First pitch in the strike zone. This one tailing in a little bit. Jerko trying to get it off his hands. Might have him set up now for that slider if he can put it where he wants to. Let's put this pitch about 4 or 5 inches off the plate away if it's going to be a slider. Nope, they're going back fastball. Now this is a strike, but look where Cervelli is set up. Off the plate inside, so when he has to reach back across his body, he doesn't get the call. I mean, that had good plate, almost right down the middle.
Two and 2 on Jed Jerko. Cardinals have taken a 4-3 lead here in the 8th. You saw Rosenthal loosening in the bullpen. The closer, Jonathan Broxton, has joined Rosenthal in case Cardinals take a big lead. Hughes trying to shut it down right now, give the Pirates a chance. Shallow right, Polanco for the final out. Cardinals get one, and now Rosenthal will try and save it. Traded over from San Diego to St. Louis. Played here from 2009 through 2013. Here's the announcement.
Number 23, David Freese.
Obviously, very, very emotional moment for David Freese. And now it's Trevor Rosenthal to try and close it out for the Cardinals. Doffs his helmet.
Just about everybody in the ballpark was on their feet. It was interesting the way they all cheered for him. And then they all cheered for strike one.
Yeah. They were able to put that behind them quickly, weren't they?
Turn the page now. It was like, yeah, that's the way it is. It's like, hey, we love you, but you can make an out right now. And then when you go to Chicago, go 4 for 4. '98, Rosenthal, obviously very hard thrower.
Has not had many opportunities this season. He is 5 for 5 in save situations. Blew a couple saves last year against the Pirates.
Didn't Jung Ho get him with the one home run?
Jung Ho Gong got him. The Pirates had back-to-back big games against him before the All-Star break. There are the numbers for Rosenthal.
17 strikeouts in just 9 innings.
3 walks and 1 home run. That was against the Brewers here. Everybody flinched. To the shortstop, Diaz. In the dirt! They get a break in that the ball didn't go into the seats. But the error for Aledmys Diaz allows Freese to reach to start the 9th inning. 6th error of the year on the rookie shortstop.
That was kind of a tough hop also for Adams. Didn't bounce far enough away where he could get a nice long look at it. How many errors did you say, Greg? 6 already?
6.
He's going to have to hit it more than he lets in.
Now Jaso, who tied the game with a 2-out single in the 7th. And now Rosenthal falls behind 2-0. So 2 for 4.
Well, Greg, some guys can get just a little snake bit against one team.
Three and 1.
Error might get into Rosenthal's head a little bit, thinking, okay, here we go. I'm always have bad luck against these guys.
He's on. He walked. It's 2 aboard with nobody out here in the 9th. And Andrew McCutchen coming to the plate. Don't forget, Garrett Cole takes the mound tomorrow as the Pirates wrap up this series against the Cardinals here in St. Louis. Coverage begins at 1:30 with Pirates pregame, presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. Pinch runner at first for Jaso is Sean Rodriguez. McCutchen doubled off the wall in the 1st inning and scored. Walked in the 7th.
Rosenthal has thrown more balls than he has strikes in this inning. They're really starting to get to him a little bit now. Well, that ball maybe was a strike and got called a ball.
2-0. Molina will go out to talk with Rosenthal. Well, one of the great comebacks last year, one of many great moments, was July the 8th, just before the All-Star, July late the 11th, before the All-Star break. This walk-off 2-run homer. This was off Nick Greenwood. July the 11th of last year. The Pirates walked off the following night. But Rosenthal gave up a game-tying run for the blown save in that ball game in the bottom of the 10th. 2-1. That game went 14 innings before McCutchen walked it off. Now 2-2 at 98 there. 308 career against Trevor Rosenthal.
98 inside corner too on your hands. Molina having second thoughts on what he called.
Full count.
Went changeup.
Three balls, two strikes. Polanco on deck. Down a run. Here we are in St. Louis with Rosenthal on the mound against McCutchen. 3-2 pitch. Got him. One out.
Didn't go fastball, interesting enough. 3-2. He didn't trust his 98-mile-an-hour fastball. It looks pretty straight. Had to go with a changeup, I'm assuming.
One out here in the 9th.
Some respect right there when you get a 3-2 changeup with nobody out and really nowhere to put you.
Polanco 1 for 4. '99, 0-2 now on Polanco.
Yeah, Greg, earlier we were talking about pitchers reading bats, deciding what to throw, and then in between innings. You brought up a good point. The decision is behind the plate on this team. And I haven't seen a lot of shaking no in the last couple innings. It kind of depends on what Molina wants.
Yeah, what he wants, they usually get.
Yeah, I haven't seen him have to put down a second set of numbers yet.
0-2 on Polanco. Bouncing ball toward first. And they get one. 2 outs. Adams throws to second to get Rodriguez.
He really floated that one over there, didn't he?
He did.
He wasn't sure about this throw. Look at the arc he put on that. That could have gone into left field. He was worried about hitting Sean in the back. So he had to really slow it down and try and lob it over him.
So last chance at Starling Marte for the Pirates. Pirates have out-hit the Cardinals this afternoon 10-7, but down a run. 90 feet away is Freeze. Marte singled in the first against the starter Wainwright. There you see career numbers pretty good against Trevor Rosenthal for Pirates left fielder. Two and one.
Greg, how typical is this for a Pirate Cardinal game? It's just like every game we play these guys,
it's exhausting.
It's right down to you're leaning forward in the last inning. No matter who's got the lead, it's always like this.
And now 3 and 1. Rosenthal in his career a 3.16 ERA against the Pirates. Breaking ball.
Oh, God, another changeup. That time 3-1.
3-2. Well, that ball dipped.
3-1.
Now a full count.
Threw his elbow pad away.
How about that? Didn't see that before.
Guy throwing 98. I like it. That's confidence.
Yeah. Line toward left field. Over is Hazelbaker. It's over his head. The Pirates are going to take. No, the ball's going to bounce into the seats. The Pirates have tied the game, however.
How did that bounce out?
Starling Marte ties it with a double. Moments after taking off that elbow guard, he rips the double to tie it at 4.
That was kind of a line drive. I didn't think there's any way it would bounce high enough to get over the fence. Here it is. Just, I don't want this.
And then, bang! Rips that one to left center field. And somehow it did bounce over the wall. It didn't even hit the top of that fence. Did it bounce over?
It hit the gate.
Man. 4-4. Check swing. Fair ball. Cervelli out. Heading to the bottom of the 9th inning, tied at 4. Game, Starling Marte's double ties it, and sometimes in baseball you're at the mercy of the way the ball bounces, and unfortunately for the Pirates, though they'll take the tie, just inches from taking the lead, the ball just skips over the wall for a book rule double.
I think, Greg, if it hadn't hit the gate, if it would have been a little to the right or to the left. But look, the gate is just a couple inches lower than anywhere else.
What's the fan reaction here? Stunned. So it's up to A.J. Schugel to get this one into extra innings.
Saw a lot of oh no's there.
Yeah.
If you were lip reading.
Aledmys Diaz at the plate. Sean Rodriguez, who pinch ran, takes over at first. A.J. Schugel's 10th appearance. Francisco Cervelli at check swing. Bouncer right at the plate. Molina quick to pick it up. Was then quick to tag Cervelli. Asking home plate umpire Ed Hickox all about that play. 1-2.
I think he was asking about, did he think maybe that ball came close to his foot? I don't think there was much question that the ball was out in front of home plate when Molina got it.
Watch it again. The last play of the top of the ninth.
It definitely didn't hit his foot.
Chopper. Here comes Mercer. Going to be a tough little play. Infield hit to start the bottom of the ninth for Aledmys Diaz.
Right off the front of the plate, got the big bounce. But that cheer, that was almost as loud as a pickoff throw cheer.
Jeremy Hazelbaker, the rookie, off to a fine start. Came on as a defensive switch in the top of this ninth. He came on to play left for Holiday, batting in the pitcher spot.
One of those nice stories, or really is hung with it and made the big leagues at 28.
Ball one on Hazelbaker. A couple of good stories here. Schugel and Hazelbaker, and that guy at first base. Cuban defector, Aledmys Diaz.
Are they still defectors?
I think so, officially. Well, he was. He was still 3 or 4 years ago. He defected. 1 ball, 1 strike. During the Pan Am games. Of course, Euclides Rojas knows all about that. Many years ago, the Pirates bullpen coach got on a raft. A handful of others escaped Cuba. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count on Hazelbaker.
Gray clouds appearing on the horizon. Wonder what the timetable is, if any time left.
Now, someone was telling me moments ago that that was going to miss us.
Yeah, now I'm not so sure.
Oh.
Changing my thinking a little
You're
bit.
riding that fence quite nicely, I might say.
I think it's got a chance that we might get just the edge of it.
It's got a chance we might get the edge.
Yeah.
See, that covers your bases. Hazelbaker hits it hard the other way. Marte back. 1 out.
Good thing he wasn't tagging, huh?
Yeah.
All the way to the bullpen fence.
Up for a moment, he had a chance to win it. Now Matt Carpenter. They decide not to bunt Hazelbaker. To move that man into scoring position, so he's still at first.
I think they would have bunted Molina.
Well, they did bunt Molina.
Oh, they'd have probably done it again. I think there's more to that story than we know.
Strike one. Oh, and 1 on Carpenter. We're talking, by the way, in case you missed earlier, the very first inning, the Cardinals got a leadoff double from Matt Carpenter against Jeff Locke. Stephen Piscotty, Matt Holliday walked to load the bases. Randall Grichuk grounded a single to left to bring home a pair of runs. And then Yadier Molina bunted.
Squared around and bunted. Not for like a base hit. Squared around and bunted straight back to Locke, who got the easy force out then at third.
And it really does make you wonder. It makes you wonder about the health of Yadier Molina. Had surgery, 2 surgeries on that hand before the season. One ball, 2 strikes on Carpenter. A.J. Schugel trying to get this into extra innings. Carpenter drives one deep to right. Cardinals win it.
Carpenter has been quite the hero around here for quite a while now. Typical Cardinal Pirate game, wasn't it? Come down to somebody winning big at the end of the game. Pirates almost took the lead with that drive by Marte that bounced out instead of staying in. Took a change up on the outside corner.
Carpenter with his 4th home run of the season.
Well, rubber game tomorrow, and it's a pretty good pitching matchup.
Cardinals take it 6-4, walking off.
First Cardinal win against the Bucks this season.
Matt Carpenter, the hero, will go back to Pittsburgh, and Paul Antique